Hello and welcome back, and today let's talk about the top 10 most pointless deaths in The Walking Dead. And with The Walking Dead having so many deaths, there are a lot, but what are the most pointless of the pointless? So let's jump right into this with number 10, and I'm giving this to T-Dog. His death just comes out of nowhere, and what makes his death so pointless is that we were promised that T-Dog would get more screen time in Season 3, only for him to die 3 episodes in, and this death was a last minute change. Originally, Carol was going to get this Season 3 death, but apparently there were some behind the scenes issues, and they switched out for T-Dog to get this death. So this death wasn't even planned for him, and this is a character that we all wanted a lot of screen time, we were promised it, and then we got this instead. Number 9 is Dale. This death in Season 2 is another last minute death. Originally, it was going to be Herschel that would die at the end of Season 2. However, with the firing of Frank Darabont, Jeffrey DeMunn wanted to leave, which meant they rewrote the ending of Season 2 and then slotted in Dale's death instead. And what makes his death pointless is that it amounts to nothing. All that happens is, when Dale's killed, Herschel just slots right into Dale's role, and the group carry on like nothing has changed. There is no big impact, no big character development for Carl after him basically being the reason Dale was killed. Nothing really changes, and it's such a shame to lose such a great character so early on. Number 8 is Tyrese, and this is another death which was just shock value. This death, I think, is done really well. I really enjoy Tyrese's death episode, but looking at it story-wise, it's pointless. It doesn't change anything for Sasha. She's already going through the grief because of Bob's death. All this does is just add to that, but you didn't really need to add to that. His death is just shock value, and it doesn't really add anything to the story, and the characters that are kinda involved with his death and responsible, like Noah, he doesn't live long enough to add anything to that character. So Tyrese is number 8. Number 7 is Olden. This is a character that was just randomly killed off screen. His death is so pointless, we didn't even get to see it. We see him in episode 3 of season 11, injured. The next time we see him in episode 9 of season 11, he's just dead. That is it. He was just killed off so that probably Maggie could take a larger role. They were like, oh, okay, we have Olden, but Maggie and all these characters are now in. We don't have space for Olden. Let's just kill him off and forget about him. He has a child that is never seen of again, or never looked after. Maggie promises to look after him. She never does. He is just forgotten about as soon as he's just remembered for one scene right at the end of season 11, episode 9. Number 6 is Noah. This is a character which had another pointless death, lead to him surviving a little longer, just for him to get a pointless death halfway through the back half of Season 5. Noah's death is one of the most overly gruesome deaths in The Walking Dead, for no reason. This death doesn't really change anything about the overall story. Noah didn't have a connection to any of the other characters outside of Glenn, and the Glenn-Nicholas rivalry could have been told without the death of Noah. You could have showed Nicholas as a coward without having to kill off a random character in such a gruesome way. Now, number 5 is Morales, and why bring this character back just to kill him off after 5 minutes of screen time? It's so dumb. Season 8 literally hyped up, oh, a character from Season 1 is returning. Everyone's been asking for Morales to turn since his leaving in Season 1, just for the comeback as a random saviour in one of the early episodes of Season 8, and then to be suddenly killed off by Daryl. What was the point? This is the epitome of a pointless character. It is a pointless death, but there are somehow still more pointless deaths than this pointless death. Number 4 is Sasha. Why kill off Sasha? Her death is completely just poorly written, and her death makes absolutely no sense. So Sasha's plan was to get into the coffin off herself, and then Negan opens the door and she would bite Negan. That's her plan, but there's so many loopholes. What if someone else opened the door? What if Negan put the coffin inside and then Rick opened it? It's really, really dumb. This death amounts to nothing, because the whole point was to kill herself so she could kill Negan. She fails to do that, and more people die, and a war goes on. So her death doesn't amount to anything and doesn't save anyone. She kills herself for absolutely no reason. Now, number 3 is Beth. This death is so poorly written. It's done again for just entirely shock value. And what makes this death even more pointless? She dies to save Noah. So she was freed at the end of episode 8, but she tries to kill Dawn to try and save Noah. Dawn kills Beth. Beth then dies, Noah joins the group, and 5 episodes later, Noah is then killed off himself. What was the point of killing off Beth? Beth's whole legacy was in Noah. They built up Noah just to kill off Noah in the exact same season, and all Noah's done is nothing. Her death is pointless and just for shock value, but we still have to climb. Number 2 is Sadiq, and this is a Noah case all over again. Sadiq was introduced when Carl Grimes died, but then Sadiq kind of mopes around. He is a background character in Season 8. Season 9, he's a bit more important, and Season 10 first half, he gets this big arc just for him to be killed by Dante, and that's it. No one talks about him. Sadiq was Carl's legacy. Why kill off Carl Grimes for Sadiq to just kill off Sadiq a season and a half later and Sadiq amounts to nothing? It's such a dumb death. If you're going to kill off Carl Grimes, you cannot kill off Sadiq. But no, they kill off Sadiq, and number 1, they kill off Carl Grimes. What is the point of Carl's death? And this is number 1 because number 2 happened. If number 2 wasn't Sadiq, then Carl wouldn't be number 1 maybe. But Carl's death is pointless in so many ways. Number 1, he dies to get Sadiq in Alexandria, but Sadiq then dies later on, amounting to nothing. That's one reason why his death's pointless. Another reason why his death's pointless is that Scott Gimple said Carl had to die so that Negan would be spared by Rick. However, that's a blatant lie. We know that Negan would have been spared no matter what. Carl didn't need to die. In the comics, Negan is still spared by Rick, and Carl doesn't die. You have the template right there. Why add in that Rick must have his son killed so that he can say my mercy prevails over my wrath? That is really dumb. The real reason Carl Grimes was killed off is because Chandler Riggs turned 18, and Scott Gimple didn't want to pay Chandler Riggs more money and give him an adult salary. And that's why his death is the most pointless death of all, because it means nothing. It only happened because of greed. And that is my list for the top 10 most pointless deaths in The Walking Dead. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Please tell me down in the comments. And do you think some people need to be mentioned down in the comments? But this is it for me today, so thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later.